Hey there, what's up? This is Santi here, and today I want to show you a really cool app, and more than that, it's kind of like a whole new way of thinking about writing. So I'm gonna show you that with a bit of an example, and this is it right here. It's called Gingko Writer, and of course, you know me, I'm gonna put it in dark mode, and I'm actually gonna give you an example for filmmaking, something in filmmaking that I just want to outline in here, so you can insert like a child. I'm gonna explain this further, but here I'm gonna put like the three main roles in filmmaking. It's just basically me outlining a topic. Don't worry too much about the concepts that I'm talking about, but rather how the app works, right? In here we have a director. We can go down, a director of photography, and an art director. So right now I already have three different categories, but I can go deeper into each one of them. So I can click on the plus, create another child, and I can just ask a question. What is the role of the director? And let me just move my face just in case. Then from there I can keep going deeper and answer the question, right? So that makes sense. I can go back. I'm just using the arrows. Now I can go in here and ask the same thing. You know, what is the role? Go deeper into that one. Again, go deeper. I want to create a list of things in the same level. So I'm gonna go down, right? Going back with the arrows. And this in filmmaking, at least the way that I was taught, is really called the creative triangle. And now as you can see, I have a bit of an outline, but it's also a mind map, and it's also just a way to write fully. I could write a book in here, you know, I can just like expand this forever. But I thought it'd make more sense if I show you with a bit of an example. So now that what you can see is I'm just gonna navigate with the arrows, right? And here I have what I call the creative triangle. I have the director, director of photography, and art director. And in each one, I just ask the question, what is the role? And if I wanted to, inside here of director, instead of asking what is the role, I could create a tangent and say something like, how important is this role? And go deeper into it and just say very, you know? So now you can just navigate all of this and go as deep as you want and write as much as you want in here. And what's also really cool is that you can actually see up here where things belong to. So for instance, if I came up here, you know, I don't necessarily want to go all the way to the left to know where does this belong in the context, but rather I can just see here in the top, you know, director of photography, what is the role, some stuff about cameras, and then movement, you know. So this top bar really helps to understand things. And again, this is just a really incredible way to kind of like mind map ideas, but also write extensively on them. So I think this example is pretty good. Actually, the way I see it, I like to see this kind of like a structure of like a tree structure, right? Where everything is branches, where these branches can go even deeper from the main branch, or they can actually become tangents that go side by side. Very similar to the way that a mind map works. But then Gingko, one of the cool things about all of this is that, okay, now you have this outline in here, maybe you expand more, maybe you're writing an essay or anything like that, and now you just want to export this, you want to get this into something that you can use, whether that's for the purpose of, I don't know, doing homework or writing something, writing a book, then you can export it in here. And look at that, this is in Word, you can have it in plain text, whatever you prefer. And now you can just copy all of this into whatever editor you work, whether that is, for me, like in Obsidian, I would move this to Obsidian perhaps, and here in Obsidian, I just paste it. And the cool thing about Gingko is that it does support markdown, so if you're familiar with that, you can just put 2 hashtags in there to make like a heading 2, or you can actually use the shortcut, so Alt 2, that would make heading 2, like so. And by the way, if you're curious about the shortcuts, you can just click in here, and you're gonna see all the possible shortcuts. It has some really cool ones. If you're familiar with Vim, you're gonna love this. If you don't worry, you can just use the arrows and it works just as well. I might talk more about the Vim part of Gingko in the future, if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, now that we have a bit of like some headings, let me just assign a couple more. This is slightly better formatted, and now I can actually go to plain text where you'll see the actual use of hashtags for headings, which is what we use in Markdown. So now if I open Obsidian and paste that, it definitely looks way better and it makes more sense, and everything just falls perfectly under where it makes sense. You know, how important is this role? Very. That's exactly what we wrote, and in the order that we wrote it. So once that you get the hang of this, you can really start exploring Gingko a bit more. And something really cool is that you can just create new documents for every single thing. So you can just create a blank new tree, or you can actually go to one of the files that you already have. You can also search them. So for instance, I know here's kind of like the outline of a book that I was writing, and maybe there's certain things that I just don't like the order of. Maybe this concept of legacy should go after fulfillment, so I can just rearrange that, and that would change when I'm ready to export everything. That would change the order of things, and it's just incredible. Or maybe this whole concept of this thing right here maybe just needs to go somewhere completely different, and I just move things around. I can just like navigate things like a maniac like this, but also always knowing where I'm located, and then I can just grab this quote that I have and start moving it I don't know, creativity. There you go, you know. I know it's kind of weird to get the hang of it, and I know it will make a lot more sense if you try it out, but I think it's such a cool, powerful app. Cool, let me actually give you another example. This is a book that I decided to, instead of just outline, I decided to move everything that I was writing about it in another app. I decided to move it here, and it's just been incredible. Again, you can navigate with the arrows, and I can just be like, okay, I want to go deeper into this topic, I want to see how it expands, and then I actually have some notes about it, on things that I need to revisit or add, and then I just literally write full paragraphs in here. I have certain questions that I need to answer, but then as you can see, I already started writing some things a bit more at length. And yeah, it's still not a hugely advanced book, like it's not super long yet, but you can already see that it makes perfect sense, so that when I decide to copy this, then once I paste it, this is what it looks like more traditionally laid out, you know, in the traditional way of seeing a document. And yeah, this is what I have, and everything just falls perfectly into place. Or if you want to, you can later like move things to another app like Scrivener, which is one that writers also love. I've been testing it quite a while. And this might still be a good idea if you just want to format things perfectly for publication of a book. But yeah, honestly, I decided to move this whole book to Gingko because it just simply works in the way that my brain works, and I can just very freely reorganize ideas and just move things around like a maniac without really worrying too much about getting lost, about having a trail of thought, or just write the paragraph and then see where it falls into. But yeah, it's just incredible. I have this other book that I'm writing. I know I read a lot of books, but I don't publish any of them yet. I should just focus on one, I know. But either way, you know, like this one has helped me understand what topics I've already covered and what are the things that I still yet to write. This one I'm still writing in Scrivener, but I am outlining what are my next moves and what do I want to write next about it here in Gingko. You know, so use it as kind of like your main writer, whether that's for books, essays, papers, whatever you do. This is a great place to write long form content without getting confused, and by having this completely new way of thinking, you know. So I think you're absolutely gonna love Gingko. You have no idea how useful it's been to me. And if you do want to give it a try, do make sure to use my discount code. I'm gonna leave it in the description and comments. And it also kind of supports the channel. This is not a sponsored video, but it is kind of an affiliate collaboration that we're doing right now. So it just means that if you end up using it, I do get a small commission. One thing to keep in mind is important, so don't go yet. This coupon code does not apply to the old version of Gingko, which was ginkoapp.com, okay? Just something to keep in mind, it applies to Gingko Writer, which is the new version of Gingko. So don't get confused, just close this tab and just go to ginkowriter.com. I'll leave that in the description as well, and that's where the coupon code applies, and that is the actual one that I showed you in this video, okay? So hopefully that clears that up, that confusion. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye. I just realized I said see you in the next time. That made no grammatical sense, but never mind. See you next time. Bye.